Welcome back to the Troubleshooting Life podcast. I'm your host, Craig Poston, with my co-host, Jay Peters, where we talk about various topics, sharing our experiences on life and finance. What's up, man?
What's going on?
I don't know much, man. Not much. Yeah, we already got a warm-up in, huh?
Yeah, warm up. Hey, man, just like working out, man, you got to get a warm up in.
Yeah.
Gotta prime the muscles, prime the vocal cords. Make sure you don't sound all groggy when you come on in.
Yeah, yeah. Some mornings, sound pretty crazy, but this is
This is Craig and Jay on the Troubleshooting Life podcast.
No, it's worse than that, man. It sounds like I got a sinus infection and talking all slow and all snotty like.
Hey, man, anything for the Troubleshooting Life podcast.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we were all discussing earlier about flooring for homes. Yeah,
man. That stuff's real, man, because I'm not a big fan of carpet in general. So having like either vinyl planking or some sort of laminate is a lot better.
Yeah. So that's the vinyl planking. I think that's what I'm going with. I think so. Hopefully, but it looks nice. It looks really nice, though. I was like, it had little tones in it. I didn't even know. So it looks gray, but like under certain light, it has this little tan in it, and I didn't notice this until I took a plank I was about to buy and then put it next to another one, and I was like, that looks kind of like it has brown in it. He was like, the guy was like, the one that I was talking to was thinking that it wasn't going to look good, but then I was like, yeah, but it was another associate said it'll be good with it, because after I showed him the flooring we already have. All in all, I think it will look good. It's just we don't want to, since it's supposed to be some light colors in here along with the dark colors, that we're just trying to make sure it has a good contrast. So.
Yeah, I know. I typically go with like a grayish look, because what I typically do is like for the walls and stuff, I typically do like the Bear brand chic gray is the color, and then for the ceilings, I do like a flat white. But yeah, and then like if I wanted to, I'd do like in rooms or in like bedrooms, do like an accent wall or like priority wall, whatever it is, where you have like another color like a dark blue or something, just to make it pop out more. But
yeah. And I mean, the reason why we're doing it, one, carpet sucks, and then two, once we move out of this house, we're gonna rent it, so we wanted something that was gonna last a good little while, because I think the warranty might have been something like either like a 20-year or a lifetime warranty. So like it was a really good warranty, and plank wise, I mean, I thought it would be good because it basically it was water resistant, but water resistant for like 24 hours. So if it was sitting underwater for 24 hours, I'm like, the only way that would happen is something like a flood came through here, or I guess even if a pipe burst, I don't even know if water would just sit, because it would just run out the doorway anyway. But I mean, it's good to know that it could withstand that.
What it's good for is that like for like mopping and stuff, or like really deep cleaning, you can still do that, because a lot of the non-water resistant ones, they're not that great with it, so like they'll kind of slowly like kind of come up if people are like mopping. I mean, and that's a fairly common way to clean stuff, so I don't know why they would make non-water resistant ones, but whatever, I guess.
No, so we'll test this out, see how it works. Got it for a good price, so yeah. So any new goals?
New goals? No, dude. I've been not cutting goals, but cutting goals and tasks that like, because I realize, just because there's a lot of stuff on my plate doesn't mean I'm doing a lot of stuff. So, and we've kind of had this conversation before, right? Where I felt like I wasn't doing a lot if I wasn't doing a lot, or I wasn't doing anything if I wasn't doing a lot. So I slowly started cutting stuff. So like I was doing like Spanish lessons on Duolingo and stuff, and that's great and all, but what's like the bigger picture, right? What's the end goal? And I currently have no plan to speak Spanish or use Spanish, right? I mean, it's just not my current goal, right? Just like I'm not going to become a harmonica player within the next year, right? So that's why I kind of slowly started cutting those, and it kind of helped a lot, like relieve a lot of stress because it was things that I was, of course, putting attention to that could possibly grow me, but it's not where I want to grow in, right?
Yeah.
So it was, they were almost like pointless, like they're taking away, time and energy. Granted, it's not a lot of time or a lot of energy, but the overall additional stressor of not doing them was just
Yeah.
like upsetting. So yeah, so I
No,
started getting
I
rid of stuff.
yeah, I understand that completely, man. That yeah, not being able to hit your goals or even feel like you're headed towards your goal, man. Sometimes
Yeah,
it, yeah, if yeah, so I feel that whole cutting. And yeah, I guess for the harmonica thing, yeah, I guess if you were gonna join a band that they needed a harmonica player, that would be the one thing to like push you. You'd be like, well, I want to be
yeah,
part of this group right here.
yeah,
Yeah, put yourself on the hook. You know,
yeah.
is that
But one of mine was like, because like one of my favorite songs ever is Billy Joel's Piano Man,
yeah,
and he doesn't play it a lot, or he plays it a lot in there, but it's not the entire song. But that's like one of the songs I liked listening to, and I like a lot of like the old school songs. So like if they have like a harmonica, I kind of like that part of the
yeah.
song. I'm like, okay, cool. It's not gonna help me in life or in general. So granted, it
No,
like
that's no, that's something you're learning something new, man. No, no, never say that, right? You know,
Well, right, right. That's the only thing, right? Is that it would be a new skill or whatnot, and it would also like kind of increase like creativity, I guess, because
yeah.
it's more of it's a different type of skill than what I usually have.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm definitely all about learning something new because like I might have to start improving myself in Linux, get some bash scripting,
Yeah,
like get deep into that because I had someone call me. I don't know how legit this is, but it was a recruiter called me and he was just wondering if I had some bash scripting experience. And I was like, give me 6 months. I will.
yeah. Well, yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
just dot slash whatever dot sh, right? And
Yeah, well,
I
no,
ran it.
I think that, they want to get deep into it, kind of like PowerShell and
Yeah,
for our listeners, if you're not in IT, this is all IT stuff. So
yeah,
yeah, we're basically talking about improving ourselves in our own field.
yeah.
But yeah, so I guess when it comes to scripting, just even running just small things like so or just understanding Bash script in general.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or well, I mean, like what scripting is typically for is that it automates the manual things,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
like if someone has to do the same thing every day, that is man hours that you shouldn't be wasting. So and if a script can replace that, then you're just creating more opportunity for other things to be done.
Yeah, so you give up 10 hours of your life to give somebody 5 minutes of work.
Hell yeah. But it's repetitive.
Yeah.
It's repetitive. Those 5 minutes add up.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, so that's what the script does. You put in all that work to build that script, and then boom, the person who installed, oh, this is so easy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, it also like eliminates human errors, right? Because if it's in a
It does,
script,
yeah.
granted scripts were written by people too, but whatever. But it eliminates those very minor issues that you can start getting if someone starts clicking around or
Yeah.
just writing or typing out commands themselves. So
But yeah, those are mostly my goals. Is just trying to improve myself there and still trying to gather what I can to build myself up to do more, get out there in the real estate space. I know I said we were gonna rent this house out once we
yeah,
move into another one, but I wanted to actually expand, kind of build a small portfolio, nothing big. I don't
yeah,
want to be a real estate investor like a big time one, just somebody who holds money in a certain section,
yeah.
as they say, diversification.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just diversify your overall like
yeah,
investment portfolio. Just have real estate, but of course always have like stocks,
yeah,
bonds, options, crypto, whatever it is. Right? You don't have to be like a full fledged real estate investor.
yeah,
But yeah, no
yeah. But I mean, some
diversification.
people, yeah, but some people think that though, right? They feel like you got to go all in, even though there've been people for years that they just own a few homes
Yeah,
and been doing great with that.
yeah. I mean, like, dude, even like celebrities and stuff, they own properties, but you'd never call them like real estate investors, right? Like, I think
Yeah,
I forgot who it is. It's like one of the NBA players, and I keep forgetting who it is, but he owns like a grip of real estate in Chicago, in like the Chicago area, and you would never think about it until you actually look it up, and you're like, oh wow, this guy owns this much real estate, and like that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, man. All right, let's get into our topic for this week, man. We
Get into
got
it, yeah,
yeah, things happen for you, not to you. Yeah,
sir.
yeah. And I was thinking, how I was like, man, it sounds very, very positive, right? Positive
Yeah.
thinking.
Well,
'Cause
not just that. It's fairly realistic too. It's things aren't happening to you. Like things may happen, but it's not like happening to you. Like if you look at the overall bigger picture, right? If you're not just looking at yourself or inside yourself, you're looking outside yourself. It's literally just an event happens, like an accident, right? Like a car accident, right? It just happens, right? An
yeah,
accident is what it is. Some things are unexpected, but it didn't happen to you. Like, oh, I can't believe, I got into an accident. I can't believe I have to, pay all this insurance, right? Like all that stuff. Like, but in reality, like that's why you got insurance,
yeah,
right? For these accidents, right? And
yeah,
that's why, like, but things happen for you. And one of the things is that I personally don't like is when people like to make excuses or like to play the victim, and the reason why is because they're not the only person that goes through stuff. Like there's other people that have gone through accidents. There's been other people that have been through tough times. Like people in your life have passed away. Some people have, trauma from when they were children, whatever it is, right? You're not the only person that's ever gone through it, right? And I think a lot of people that come from like non-affluent backgrounds, they also think that affluent people don't have these problems, right? No, people with money or people of success, they also have anxiety. They also have tons of stress. They also have, some of them didn't come from two family backgrounds, right? So, or two parent backgrounds, right? So the excuses of like, hey, I didn't have my parent in my life. That's why I'm in this situation. I didn't grow up on the right side of the street, right? I whatever it is, X amount of like excuses that you can come out with. That's why they're not in that specific position or in a better position than they currently are. So I
yeah,
just don't like it when people play the victim over playing the victor.
yeah. And I can agree with that. And I mean, a lot of times they might be around people who are negative, or might have been raised by negative people, but that could be some of the reasons why they have those outlooks like that. But and going into like the how you said about a vehicle, if you were in a car accident, right? One of the reasons why we get insurance is to mitigate risk, right? It's
Mm.
so you can not have that worry, right? And then that's why you should have proper insurance, right? And
Mm.
I think that's kind of like what we're kind of getting into, right? If you are stuck on the why it happened, right, then you should get deeper. Like, why did it really happen? Like, how
Yeah.
did it lead up to this point? And that's usually how I look at things. Try to look at it in a more responsible way. And I know we're
Mm.
going to talk about that too, but
Mm.
yeah, so and that's the thing. If you can disassociate yourself from negative people who all the time they complain, they'll say, oh, that's not going to happen, or they're not big on teaching you about preparation, because preparation actually can alleviate a lot of things, right? Or at least get you in front of it. You can't completely stop everything. There's
Right.
always a chance something's going to happen. So yeah, the best way is always to get in front of it. If you, and especially if it's something that is repeatable, right?
Mm.
Kind of create that bash script, right, of life,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There
So
you
like,
go.
yeah. So
Script your
start.
life.
Yeah, exactly. So you start prep ahead of time, just so you can get ahead whatever those issues are, because but just because it happened to you, just like you said, or it can happen to anybody, or someone, it
Mm.
already happened to somebody else.
Yeah.
And if you can either, if you talk to other people, they can share their experiences on how they deal with that,
Yeah.
and
Or you can
being
share it with like the future, right? Like
yeah,
for people that will have kids, right? It's an experience that you can then like kind of pass on to them. Like, hey, if you get into an accident, this is what you do, right?
yeah,
If you got hit, call the cops, call
yeah,
your insurance, right? Make sure everything is documented. Make sure that one, everyone is safe, your car is drivable, right? Do all these steps, and kind of going back to what you said, make sure you have the correct insurance,
yeah,
right? If you don't, then you may be kind of like screwed, and then kind of teach them like, hey, this is how you can tell what you're covered on. This is how you kind of break it out on like, hey, this is what you should have coverage on. These are things that you probably will never need or whatever. And because for a lot of insurance companies, you can kind of customize and move around what your policy says.
Yeah. So again, that's that adulting thing, right?
There you go.
Yeah, because you gotta those things that you gotta do your due diligence, right?
Yeah.
Do your research. Who's the best insurance company for me? What's the best policy that they have for me? Is this for business? Is this for personal? All these different things you learn how to get through it by doing your due diligence, getting in front of your problems. So yeah, and I guess we kind of already stepped into that, right? That accountability and responsibility, right? And that was
Yeah, so like, dude, just take accountability because I could blame X amount of people for whatever reason for not being in a specific position, right? But that's
yeah,
not going to get me anywhere, right? But take personal responsibility. Like, man, I remember when I was younger and I was in high school and I was just stressed because like I was trying to get ready for college and I just didn't know how I was going to pay for it. And for some reason, I don't know why I never thought about it until like senior year. I was like, yeah, no, I got to pay for college somehow, right? So I was applying for scholarships, I was applying for everything, and I just wasn't getting everything that I expected, right? And I could have blamed it on my parents, saying that they should have taught me that about these values, about how college actually worked, about how to get scholarships, but that wouldn't have done me any good, and that wouldn't have done me any good because what was I expecting? Did I expect they at that time had not gone to college?
yeah,
They had never finished college, I should say. So, and times have changed, right? I'm at least 20 years, like they were at least 20 or something when they had me. So what things change within 18 years, and if they weren't keeping up with it, whatever it is, but at the end of the day, it was my responsibility to get into college. It was my responsibility to go after scholarships, right? And taking that self accountability. I mean, looking back, more like it, taking that self accountability helps a lot because in my opinion, it just takes away the, I guess, negativity or those bad feelings. Like, why would I blame them for that, right? And sometimes people are to blame, but at some point, there's in every relationship, there's two people at least, minimum, right? It's you and the other person, right? You therefore have a stake in what happened. So it's never 100% the other person's fault, right? You were still a part, you agreed to that relationship, right? So, but, people will, like I said, they will make every excuse in the book not to do something like, hey, I'm late. There was traffic. Well, there's traffic every day.
yep,
So,
yeah,
that doesn't really change much. So leave earlier, right? I didn't get to get my workout in. The kids were up. I was like, well, wake up earlier then, or stay out later, right? Or people will make excuses like they work too much so they can't spend time with their family. Well, learn to spend time with your family. Like, don't go to sleep until you spend time with your family, right? It's just like I could come up so many excuses, so many damn excuses for things not getting done. But at the end of the day, it's you. It really is you, and you just need to take the time to look into the mirror and be honest. Like, what am I not doing? Like, stop blaming every other person for your problems and take true accountability. And for me, that empowers you to do a lot, right?
yeah.
Like it empowers you like on like an emotional standpoint, on a psychological standpoint to kind of just get things done in life, right? So
Yeah. No, so yeah, I agree with you on that. And that's one of those things. If you did take accountability or responsibility of whatever it is, you alleviate a lot of your issues. And I definitely I'm a big advocate of that. Like, hey, things I don't. So this is the thing. I don't necessarily believe in like good luck or bad luck, right?
mm,
Now, I just believe in like how the outcome is supposed to, happen, right? So,
mm,
so basically, whatever event happens, it's because of the outcome is because of the event. I'm jacking up
yeah,
what I was going to say, but yeah, so when it comes to like, good luck, right? People say people have good luck, but it's really because they've been putting in the work, right?
yeah,
And if they never looked at it as good luck, all they looked at it as that preparation, right? That I've been responsible. I've been accountable of myself, right? Then good luck will eventually happen to someone who has that mindset. And then the bad luck is always to a person who's always lackadaisical, right?
Yeah.
About a situation. So they're not ready to prep. They're not ready to do something. And then when something it's hitting them dead in the face, and they're like, oh, kind of like what you said in the beginning, these things are happening to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
and sometimes, dude, luck is just self-actualized. Like
yeah,
you said, it's the work that they put in. All right,
yeah,
so like if you're like you said, if the person is lackadaisical, they're not taking those preparation steps, they are just being ignorant to whatever could happen. All
yeah,
right, then yeah, things are not going to get or will not happen the way they planned. Right, it will look as bad luck, but all luck is probability. All right,
yeah,
so like if anyone's ever been to college or they've taken a class in mathematics, there's a set of probability called game theory, right? And what game theory is, it's kind of like based off what games are, right? But it's a probability of how things will happen in certain situations, right? So, and you can apply that to life, right? If I take these steps, right? If I'm taking a college prep course, then I will be getting ready for, of course, college. Then hopefully I will also receive the knowledge to apply for scholarships, apply for specific colleges that have my degree, right? If I'm taking all these tangible steps, then the overall outcome is expected to go to college or go to a college and whatever that outcome is after that, right? But yeah, no, luck is probability or the numbers of for your outcome.
yeah. But think about it, right? Who was it? Was it Jay-Z? When you play with skills, you always have good luck.
Yeah,
So like, but if you're not gaining any new skills, if you're not practicing on your craft now, right? How would you have good luck to move to the next level, right?
mm,
And so I think I was saying it earlier, right? How like everyone wants to win the lotto, right? But
mm,
then like we're the lotto. Yeah, you do the prep, you get everything together, and then you can move ahead, have that good luck, right?
mm.
And if you believe in yourself, then you are the lotto. You're gonna always be the winner, and I mean at least in your eyes, right?
Right.
Because like success is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, just like
That's what I,
beauty.
yeah, just like beauty, right? Because everyone's going to say what they call success, but
Yeah,
success to you might be something different, and that's why you have to focus on improving yourself, invest in yourself, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, and that way that so-called good luck happens a lot more, from that prepping, that planning, that skill building, all those different things.
yeah.
So I guess we get down to look at the serendipity of bad moments.
All right. Like yeah, dude, and that kind of came. So there's a podcast that I typically listen to. It's called the Serendipity by Inky Johnson, right? And one of the things is that he looks into is there may be bad moments that happen in life, right? There may be things that aren't advantageous to you, but that doesn't mean the entire moment is bad, right? So like for example, and one of the best examples he gave was like during 9/11, right? There were people that just didn't make it to work that day, right? For whatever reason. Like, and one of the stories was like, hey, this guy, he got into a car accident. He worked in the trade center, and for whatever reason, he was not there when the Twin Towers fell,
Yeah.
right? And that's the serendipity in life, right? Like that, the car accident, that is typically what a bad moment, right? That people think of. But look at the serendipity. He is still alive to this day to still spend time with his family, right? There was one
Yeah.
where he had to take his kids to work, or he had to take his kids to school, right, before going to work, and he just didn't make it in time, right? And there's just things that you think things are happening to you, you think things are just being bad overall, but if you look at the overall, or if you look at the bigger picture, it's just an event, right? And there are bad moments that you could look into being good moments. For example, dude, I didn't get into college after high school, right? But I promise you, I never regret that decision for a second in my life, right? And the reason why, like, I didn't get into college, so my next option was going to the military. Went into the military, went reserves, right? I met some great people in the reserves that helped mentor me, help like give me some structural foundation, right? And then I just kind of took it from there, right? Got a cyber job, got another cyber job, and then this, that, and the other, and I am here today, right? Could things be different? Of course they could,
Yep.
but who cares? I can't dwell in the past. I can't just think like, oh man, I should have gone to college when I first got out of high school. Maybe I'd be in a better position. No, I don't know that, right? And in my opinion, it wouldn't have been better, right?
Yeah.
Because right now is not as good as it's going to get, but it's the best I'm doing right now with what I have right now.
Yeah. So it's kind of like one of those things that you enjoy the ride, right? The journey. All right.
Yeah,
And I know some people they don't like that. They want to hit a straight path in life, but those journeys, right? They teach you lessons. Like because you met somebody, you didn't go straight into college. You met people who helped mentor you to go into the direction you want to go in. All right. If we always hit a straight direction, how would you know if that's really what you want to do? Right. But
right.
now because you're talking to people and you go like, oh, well, this is something I'm interested in. Let me focus on this. And yeah, so those, and that's a good way. Right? You focus on the positive of everything that
Hmm.
happens, right? No, you wasn't the traditional college student. I wasn't a traditional college student either. I did go straight into college, but then at some point I won't say I dropped out, but I kind of sat out a little bit. And then
Okay.
when I went back to college, or when I went to the university, I went in as a non-traditional student because I was different age and I got in through a different way. But
Yeah.
the thing is, hey, I didn't look at that as my bad situation because I sat out or I couldn't get my grades together. I saw that I was after something and I went for it because again, life happens, right? And
Yeah.
that's part of the journey. What did you overcome? So, and that's how I look at the in my bad situations. You try to find out what did you learn from your bad situations,
Hmm.
and when you find out what you learn, that you think that bad experience, right?
Hmm.
Thank you for happening because like I wouldn't have learned this if it wasn't for you, right?
Hmm.
That's how you that's you how I look at things, right? So if you
Yeah.
can't, again, the things are gonna happen regardless, and
Hmm.
bad things are gonna happen. But then you take them as they go. All right, I learned. I didn't prep for that. That's what happened. Or oh, I learned that okay, it's a better way for me to handle my money because the first time a situation happened to me, I was down on my luck, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah. So that's kind of like how it is for me, man. I like to actually look at all the positive
Yeah.
and gain in, take in everything I can from those so-called terrible situations because they're not terrible unless you call them terrible. Not
Right.
terrible unless you let them be terrible, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, for me, like, it's not just like lessons for me to learn, right? But it is lessons for me to pass down, right? And I have no problem being the test dummy, the punching bag, whatever it is,
Yeah,
for certain lessons, right? Like I said earlier, like the first contractors I had for this property, they were not the greatest, right? And that's a lick that I'll have to take, right?
yeah,
So that's why going into this next property, I'm gonna do or have better due diligence, right? I'm
yep,
going to have a better situational awareness of what's happening at the property and what things are actually costing. All those things that'll help me kind of just grow forward, and then maybe I can pass that down to other people, right? Or my future generation, whatever that is.
yeah. It's kind of like one of those things. You don't know how to win until you learn how to fail, all
There
right?
you go.
Because then now you can prep to make sure you win all the time.
Right.
Because yeah, so that's how yeah. So yeah, that was a good one right there. The next one would everything happens for a reason, right? Now, which
Yeah.
we're kind of getting into that anyway, right? Pretty much
Yeah.
everything you were talking about is there. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I'm not a religious person, right? So I don't believe, or I don't have a huge belief that things are happening because someone said so, or because there was some sort of divine appointment. But what I'm saying is, like, but I do believe in karma, right? And
Yeah,
karma is just you do good things, and good things will happen upon you, right? And vice versa. If you do bad things will happen upon you, right? And I just believe that in general, that if you as a good person generally do what is the right thing, like morality wise,
yeah,
then yeah, good things will happen for you. And things happen for a reason, and it's not just this doesn't happen out of the blue, right? Maybe accidents happen, but yeah, that still happened for a reason.
yep,
The other driver may not have been paying attention. You probably couldn't have been paying attention, right? Someone could have
Yep.
been drunk, right? It's San Antonio, and that's where you live, and kind of have to deal with it. But and things this didn't happen, right? Things led up to that event for it to happen,
Yeah.
right? Like you wouldn't have gotten into that car accident maybe if you were like 10 minutes earlier, right? That car wouldn't have been there, but maybe there would have been another car, right? Maybe there was something that else that led up to it. But yeah, everything in my opinion happens for a specific reason.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the reasons why it gets to a point where they're going to push EV cars, right?
Yeah,
Because then no one has to drive.
yeah, the AIs.
The vehicle drive itself, and then basically keep us from getting in collisions.
Yeah,
Right.
and then iRobot happens, and then you get taken out.
No, so I remember watching a documentary on this. It's about a long time ago, but like they've been planning this for a while, where they want to push EV cars. So it gets to that point where they could avoid collisions, right? The error is the human.
Yeah,
Like it's like if you're sleepy at the wheel, if you're drunk at the wheel, if you looked away at the wrong time, like all those different things are human errors that cause a collision.
yeah,
So just going on your example about car accidents.
yeah,
Yeah. So the next thing is, right, test your stress points. All right. So how I see this, testing your stress point, it's kind of like whatever happens to you, come on, sit in it for a little bit, right? Let's find out how far it goes, right? Because you're learning something, right? I mean, you take this example, right? Like if you're working out, right? That's stressful situation when you're working out, especially if you're working out hard. But if you don't tap out as soon as it gets hard, like how would you know where's your stress point? How would you know when to stop? All right. So and that's one thing I learned in the military, that what your mind tell you is not what your body can do.
right.
Like, so then once you get your body and your mind aligned, you can do pretty much anything you want to do, until your body fails. But still,
let's take another drink, man.
Yeah. Another sip of water. Let's go. But truthfulness, right? The military actually did teach me that. I was definitely thinking that I couldn't do certain things just because my body felt like it wasn't there, right? I was just like, oh, so my head starts saying, no, you're going to pass out. You're going to pass out. But then in reality, have you passed out yet? Or have you passed out before? How do you know if you will pass out? So it's like, you just keep going, push harder. All right. Run faster and see what happens. All right. You will know if you're really going to pass out. And most of the time you don't pass out unless it's because of heat exhaustion, or you, again, one of those things, you got to prep for the day that you're going to do this exhausting workout, right? So you're supposed to be drinking water and making sure you ate a good meal the day before, before you push yourself to that limit. But like those factors, just because you think you're going to pass out, that doesn't mean you're going to pass out. So it's one of those things, you got to test that stress point. You got to keep going.
And then that's how you grow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like going back to working out, right? Like, how would I know if I could go grow in general, right? If I'm not heading, say, higher reps or higher weight, right? So like if I'm trying to, get a certain bench press, right? How would I know if I'm not even attempting to get to that specific level, right? If I'm just doing the same bench every day, just put a plate on. That's it, right? How would I know if I could even do 2 plates, right?
Yeah.
Or 3 plates, whatever it is, right? You like you said, you have to test all those stress points to accurately, I guess, grade yourself or measure yourself against certain situations, right? Now, I'm not saying intentionally get into a car accident, right? Don't do that, right?
Yeah.
but when you do get into a car accident, take the steps, right? Call the cops, call your insurance, right? You may have to fight with the other person's insurance. That happens, right? Because you will have conflicts. But get repairs, right? Shop around for repairs. Learn about other insurance companies that could help you, whatever it is, right? But yeah, no, definitely got to test out those stress points. But and then like one thing I kind of want to go back on real quick was disassociating yourself with negative people, and that's a big thing, right? One of the most profound things, and it's kind of a simple thing that I heard when I was younger, is that you are the average of the 5 people around you.
Yeah.
right. So, and if that, and in my opinion, that's fairly true. So look at the five people around you, right? Are they lazy? Do they show up late, right? Do
Yeah.
they, not take care of their bodies, right? Do they not work out,
Yeah.
right? Do they
Yeah.
not take care of their family? You know, are they dishonest, right? Do they, do stuff like, fool around, right? You know, and if they do, right, that's cool. That's up to them, right? That's nothing on them, right? But if that's not who you want to be, then you have to disassociate yourself with these people, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not going to benefit you if that's not where you want to go, right? And I'm not saying, like I said, that is all up to that person's, prerogative, right? However they want to be. I'm not knocking on that. But if I'm with that person and I don't want to be like that, then I'm disassociating myself with them for that relationship.
Yeah. No, that's a good point to make. Going back to the, test your stress points, right? One of the things that, I like to say to myself, right? I'll say that this shall pass. It's only temporary pain, right? And I'll
Mm.
say that to myself, like I said, working out or whatever bad situation that, like you feel like you're in. And I would say, I will always say to myself, this shall pass. It's only temporary pain.
Mm.
And that normally that like gets the mind back in order, right? Just like so I could just get back to work.
Like a
Uh,
scripture.
yeah, that is, and I'm pretty sure other people have their own thing that they say to themselves, just to make sure that they just keep going, right? Because just because it's happening now doesn't mean it's gonna pass. And then one of those things too, don't always look for that relief, right? Don't look for
Mm.
relief so quickly. A
Mm.
lot of people want the light switch to turn off, right? The pain switch to turn off so
Mm.
quickly, right? But sometimes, you got to fight through to the very end just so you can, what I'm saying, win in this
Yeah.
situation. Yeah. Yeah. So with testing your stress points, right? Like I was saying earlier, right? Everyone wants to see that situation just end quickly, right?
Mm.
Yeah, and it's not always the case, right? Sometimes it lasts longer than a few hours, a few days, a few months, right?
Mm.
Because whatever your situation is, yeah, it may take longer,
Mm.
but you will learn something from it, right? That was one of the things I had to learn about, as I got older. Because in the beginning, I come from Mississippi. I'm usually everything's easy going, everyone's nice, all this stuff. I move somewhere different, situations change, life's different. All right.
Mm.
So when stuff happens to you, you think, okay, it's gonna be like how it was wherever you came from, but then it's not. So then you get all frustrated and you get upset. You start having anxiety and you just like, I want it to end, or you just want, you want to do something else. You want to like, maybe I should move away or whatever. Right.
Mm.
And one of those things, and that's what I learned. It's, I should just sit in that moment. Why did it happen? How can I prevent this next time? If it happens next time, so what? You don't get, all scared and, afraid of what's going to happen. Just go ahead and just attack it whenever it happens, or just let it flow because you already know, okay, all right, here, this is how I can handle it. So
Mm.
that's one of those things like should just hang out with that stress, right? Hang out with that bad time, right? Yeah, it's painful. Yeah, it shouldn't have happened. Yeah, it's embarrassing. All right. But then guess what? If you learn how to become friends with that bad time, then you'll learn something from that bad time. And then guess what? Bad time won't show up ever again.
Mm.
All right. Yeah. And when it does, you know how to handle bad time. You're like, okay, hey, bad time, I got something for you. You're right. Hey,
Mm.
just come sit on over here while I handle my business, right?
Mm.
So, it's just a better way to look at things, a positive way to look at things, right?
Mm.
How you feel about that one?
Yeah, no, I mean, and what it kind of brings me to is like, working out, right? Like, dude, working out, it don't feel good, man. It don't like really like if you ever think about it, if you ever like remember the time when you first started working out, you're like, oh man, this is painful, right? Doing a push up, doing a pull up, just lifting weights, right? Like it is you're causing pain. You are intentionally causing pain onto your body so that you expect to grow out of it, right?
Yeah,
And if anyone that's ever lifted, right, you get like lactic acid buildup when you're lifting, right? Like you'll
yeah,
feel it in your biceps, you'll feel it in your chest and stuff, right? That pain doesn't feel good, right? But pushing past that pain or and expecting that pain and still going through with it
yeah,
is what'll help you grow in the long term, right? And that's the thing, right? Like you expect pain, or when you're expecting pain, there's a different mindset, right? Other than when it just kind of you feel like it just happens to you, right? But no, there are times where it is almost intentional, or there are situations where it's coming up and it's happening, and you're still not expecting, or you don't want it, right?
Yeah.
You don't want it to happen, and that's what hurts even more, right? Is when you don't want it to happen, so you're not having, or you're not prepared as much as you should be,
Yeah.
right? And then it starts causing other issues, right? So like there's a difference between squatting in the gym than there is having to pick up like a car, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's different, right? Right. You're not expecting to have to pick up a car, but when I go to the gym with an intention to pick up weight, to squat weight, whatever it is, then the feeling is different. It's not hitting all the I guess pain points. It is hitting pain points, but not like the psychological pain points, right? The physical, right? But if, and I'm not saying go outside and expect a car accident to happen. I'm not, and that may sound to be a little bit more negative, but don't expect everything to just go perfect when you're going somewhere,
Yeah.
right? There are accidents that happen, right? So don't mourn, or don't kind of grovel in the situation that it just happens to you.
All right, man. Let's get down to our next thing, frugal and cheap.
Frugal and cheap.
All right. All right. This one is on repairing items no matter the cost. What do you think about that one?
Oh man, so like I think it depends on the item, man. Because like I was telling you, man. So I got like this old Mustang that my parents have, right?
Yeah.
And recently, the odometer went out, right? And I think it's either the odometer went out or the speedometer, whatever it was. It was both, at least at some point. At some point, both of them were not operating. And I'm just like, it's a crappy car, right? I bought it for like maybe $2,000 like years ago, and it gets them from A to B. That's about it. And I'm like, just sell the damn car, because I have put in more money than I actually bought it for, right? And they have also, I think, put in a little bit money than about the time was, or about the amount that I bought it for. So I'm like, stop repairing it. Just sell it, and like put a down payment on a decent car, or just get at least a sub decent car, something better than what they currently have. Like that thing is just slowly coming apart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to think of the situation, right? If someone's in that part of their life where they're building wealth, right? So they're willing to go ahead and take the hits on how to repair it, right? Or learn how to repair it. Because if you take it to the shop, a lot of times, you're going to get hit over the head a lot, right? Because they're going to repair what they need to repair. And then they're going to, if they do more, that's an awesome shop. But like not all shops are going to like, hey, let's replace this for this price, Like some will go like, well, we're going to replace this. And then you come back, no, we're going to replace that, They can make money. But I mean, to me, I think, being able to repair certain things, right? All right. So my situation was the lawnmower, right? I was like, okay, what the heck is wrong with this thing? I'm going to go buy a new one. And then I'm sitting there and I'm looking at all the different lawnmowers, and I was like, man, they some of them are very similar, but the prices are different. Right. So then I was just thinking, I was like, man, do I really want to spend this money? And especially when it goes like some of them get pretty expensive, but like you have like the low end, which is like $200, and then like
and they get the riding lawnmowers at like $3,000, $4,000.
They got all these different ranges. And then I was just thinking to myself, what if I'm looking at this all wrong? And I was just like, so basically what I did, I just started looking at the lawnmower, watched a couple of videos to help you troubleshoot it. Boom, found out what the issue was. Actually was still able to use the lawnmower because of their troubleshooting videos, because I was like, how can I cut this grass? Because I still need to cut the grass, but I can still run the lawnmower. It just doesn't have a safety switch. It's kind of weird. I was just like, all right, let's do it. But I got it done. And also when I ordered the part, I still ordered the part. It was a $40 part versus over spending $200 or more on a whole lawnmower. Yes. It'd have been nice opening up the box, and I got this new fresh lawnmower that's gonna get dirty anyway, right? So so that's what I was just like, let me just save the money and do that. But I mean, also could be different things, right? If it's something that's like super cheap to replace, right? Super cheap to replace, and I know everyone's income is different, so super cheap it is definitely on your income. Because if you're a person who makes $1 million a year, right? Yeah, spending $200 is not a big deal. That's it's very low risk at that
Chump
point, right?
change.
Yeah, so like then it's kind of like one of those things. And most likely, if they were paying that amount of, or getting paid that amount of money, they're probably paying someone to cut their lawn or to do whatever it is anyway, right?
Shit, I would hope
Because
so. That'd be an expensive lawnmower if you were
well,
making millions and you were cutting your own lawn.
well, I mean, some people might like to. Rick Ross even did it, right?
Yeah.
He said that he
All right,
was.
he ain't cutting that mansion's lawn, bro. There's no
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. But he got a group of his friends, and
Yeah, I
that's what they
bet.
did. Yeah, and they all cut the lawn together. And he probably realized like to manicure that thing probably was super expensive. And a person who is trying to build their wealth bigger than what it already is, you're like, well, what's ways I can cut costs in any way? I mean, yeah, you can always make more money, right? And come up with new ways to make more money. But then it's like one of those things, how can I cut costs to move, to get things done? And then that might have been one of his things. That might be his thinking time.
Yeah.
And you never know, right? Like people have different reasons why they like to repair or do things themselves. Because sometimes the tinkering actually does it kind of, it's kind of like my therapy, tinkering around with things. I was like, or just problem solving in general, which is funny because it seems stressful to problem solve, but then when you solve it, it's like, I don't know, it's like this thing, it comes over you like, oh man, I just did it. There go, right?
It's a huge thing of relief.
Yeah, so it's like it's awesome. You learn something from it, then you go like, dang, was it worth all that time I just spent on it? So
and that's the thing, right? Like for someone that does make millions, right? Is it worth their time to go mow their lawn? Right?
Yeah.
Maybe not, right? More than likely not, because the amount of time that they could be spending, building their wealth in other facets, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Could possibly be worth more than taking, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if they got millions, they at least got like a decent house. So say it takes them like an hour or 2 hours to cut their lawn, like minimum, then, what could they be spending those hour or 2 hours of time doing? All right.
Well,
so,
yeah, I mean, but just think about it. Think about our field, right? We're doing IT. We want to build code, right? So if you gave someone money or whatever it was, right, to cut your grass, and you spend those 2 hours building your code, which can actually help build your wealth. Because if you wrote code to like a new product, then, especially a product you're creating, sorry, that time was actually well spent.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've been thinking about lately, right? That's why I've been trying to gain more skills, because that's what I want to do. I actually want to build a product in the automotive industry, but it's more along the lines of like, IT. So that's that, and I'm putting this out there because like, you never know, people have good ideas and they're like, hey, you ought to try this idea. All right. Yeah. And that's usually how businesses get started, right? When you find out that there's an actual market for it. They're like, we've been looking for this for a long time,
Yeah.
So
but going back to the frugal and cheap though. But like what happens when the repair starts costing more than the new item, right? Like say you said you got a $40 part, right? What happens if that $40 part became for $100 worth of parts and stuff?
Well, that's different though, right? If the parts are not worth, if the parts are too expensive to get and it's just easier to buy a whole new thing, then then it makes sense then.
All right, but what if it's not immediate? Right?
You're talking about the lead time. You're talking about, right?
Like so, like you spend $40, today, right? Say in 3 months, you spend like another 40 or another 50, whatever it is.
Okay,
right? Like what does that build up into? Right? Well, what is the threshold?
Well, that's different, right? The good thing about lawnmowers, there's only a few parts. So, but when it comes to vehicle, because what you were talking about earlier, right? So what I do to get ahead of that problem with vehicles, because especially if I know I bought the vehicle from someone else, I just take time and I call it making it zero again, right? So basically I go through, do all the maintenance. I'll look up stuff like what are the main fail points, like what are the main issues with this vehicle, and already start looking into replacing that. right? So as soon as I can make the vehicle basically set back to zero, highway ready, you know what I'm saying? Basically, that's when it, because that's exactly what I did with the obviously the little BMW that I drive around. I literally bought it for a cheap price off somebody, and then I looked at everything I needed to replace on it, and then that's what I started replacing. And basically, by me doing it myself, made a lot of those things cheaper. Versus if I took it to the dealership, say, hey, can you or to any maintenance shop, they basically gonna charge me because the parts sometimes can get expensive. Yeah, so but that's how I handle those situations. Obviously, I work on cars, so but when you do have a point though. If the vehicle or whatever it is, the product, it has too many repairs to the point where it's not even worth its value anymore, right? Even once you replace those parts, then sometimes it is better to go buy a whole new thing. But when people are in their building wealth phase, they basically need to save money. You got to look at the bigger picture, right? If you can take that Mustang, for instance, right? If you can get that Mustang back to zero where it is good to go, right? And then you could save another, a car note for another 5 years. That's just me, right? I'm just looking at it like that, right? Because if you look at the average, I was actually thinking this while I was driving, right? If you were to spend $30,000 on a brand new vehicle, I'm just spitballing this, right? So like, I'm not saying, because you can buy brand new vehicles at any price, but say you're buying a brand new vehicle at $30,000, but you spent $5,000 on the vehicle after repairs, right? Think about how much money you still save, and you put the vehicle back at zero, where it's still highway ready. You can still go, do your everyday drive and all that. You saved a lot of money. For a person building that wealth, that's a lot. For a person who already has wealth, that might not be worth their time. You hear that? So it's different.
Yeah, it's not worth their time.
Yeah. I know we got deeper into it. Yeah. So obviously we agree to disagree. You think it's cheap? You should just go ahead.
No. I don't think it's cheap. I think it's frugal until a certain threshold. Right?
Okay. But that's kind of how I was looking at it too. Like, when does it get cheap, right? When does it to that point where it's like, all right, now you're not looking at the bigger picture. It's time to go. And
when you take the blades, you turn them into like scissors, and you're out there cutting it yourself, like with a ruler. That's when it's cheap.
Oh no, that's a perfectionist right there. Yeah. That's different. All right, man. You want to close this out, man?
Thank you for listening to Troubleshooting Life podcast. This is Craig and Jay signing off. Thank you for listening, and have a great week.
Yep, and please like and subscribe. All right, see you next week.